like 10 something. Um, Sitting out on my porch right now. Like I had my hands are itching so bad because me and my son was out here raking up some bull and it had a lot of thorns in it. I can't see if y'all can see me good or not. Can you hear me? But it had a lot of thorns in it, so both of our hands got thorned up. But I have a frustrating day today that might be pretty long. Excuse me, y'all, but my skin, I ain't put on no lotion or nothing because I thought it was going to take us longer than what it did. So I was like, when I started sweating and whatever. But so I didn't lotion, but it didn't take long. So I'm just sitting out here feeling unmoisturized. But anyway, so while I'm out here trying to, pass some time before I do what else I gotta do, then I decided to go live and have a little chitty chat with y'all or whatever. And is it an important conversation? Yes, it is. But at the same time, I'm not gonna get too deep into it because I like to stay in my own world. Shit y'all have going on is so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, corny cannot get any cornier. But in any event, this is what I want to get into, or what I'm going to talk about while I'm sitting here going live. And I don't know how long I'm going to be live, but because I saw a few videos where people were responding to this white lady that had said, "Can y'all hear me?" People were responding. I watched a few videos where people were responding to this video that this white lady had posted of her telling her son or him giving back what she had taught him, which was like, if you are ever lost or get lost, go find a big black man, you know what I'm saying, and tell him I'm lost. A lot of people were saying like, that's the best thing to do because children are more likely to be harmed. Children are more likely to be harmed by Caucasian males, than black men. So you had some people responding like, it's not our job to watch and protect your children. You know what I'm saying? Mostly it was coming from black women standing up for their men. Like, it's not our job to make sure your children are safe and bring them back home. Because a lot of times when there is police involvement with black males, the black male is more likely to, instead of being, praised for helping a white child find their way home, they're more likely to get shot dead or arrested. And I totally agree with that. Some people were saying that, it can be turned around, like the black man, if you call the black man, call the police, like I said, he's liable to get arrested because they will say that he's the one that, was trying to kidnap the child or whatever. They were saying, like, what if a Karen sees him with the child and comes up trying to accuse him of stuff, then it's going to be his word. No matter what the child says, it's going to be his word against their word. And we know how that can go. I totally agree with that. totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but at that same time, y'all, what kind of day and age and time are we living in where, regardless of the race, nationality, creed, color, or whatever, where, what the fuck is going on where you have to, in order a child, in order to help a child, you gotta, like, this is weird. This I don't really want to fuck with y'all, anybody, okay? Because what kind of world are we living in where you gotta second guess yourself before you help a child? Like, what what's going on? What are y'all doing out here in the world where it's not even safe to help a fucking kid? I understand not, you know what I'm saying, an adult or whatever like that, because, you know, like I said, I grew up between Atlanta and North Carolina. I've seen the people on the side of the highway or wherever, you know what I'm saying, with their little cans, cups, bowls, hands out or whatever. Um, and you help them financially, and then they go and get in their BMW. You know what I mean? Um, I get that it's not always wise to help an adult, but what the fuck has happened in the past however many years where it's questionable to help a fucking child that can't help themselves? Let me tell y'all something. I was about 7 or 8 years old, 7 or 8, and maybe 8, possibly 9, but I don't think I was that old because I was still a little bit chubby. But I was down in Atlanta, and we were at my cousin's house because I took tennis lessons, y'all, forever. Now I got to refresh myself because I forgot a lot. But I took tennis lessons for forever until I got about 12 or 13, and my sister didn't want to take it anymore. She was really good at tennis. I was okay, but she was really good at tennis, but she didn't like doing physical activities or being out in the sun or any of that. So when she was tired of it, that's when my daddy took us out. But of, tennis lessons. But I had a cousin who's took tennis lessons with us. Like her dad, y'all, filthy, stinking, rich. I miss my uncle. He's dead now, but I miss my uncle. But so in the mornings, my dad, well, anyway, somehow in the morning we got to the camp, and in the afternoons, I can't remember, but I know we would always, I think my daddy would be working. I think my daddy dropped us off at camp, and my uncle would come and pick us up from camp. But we would always end the afternoon at my uncle's house, and until my daddy got off from work. And one day, me, my sister, and my cousin decide that we're gonna walk to the store. And she took her dog with her. And somehow on the way, her dog, we get not too far around the corner, but somebody hits her dog with their car. So her dog is running around in the street, yelping, hollering, you know what I'm saying, running in circles and stuff. And that scared the hell out of me. You know what I mean? Like, I might be a doctor one day, but I'll never be a veterinarian. So I want to get away from this dog. You know what I'm saying? I want to get away from this scene. So I told them I'm going to go back to her house because my uncle wasn't home yet. I'm going to go back to her, or either he had just got there or whatever. But anyway, I'm like, I'm going to go back to her house and go and get Unc or call Unc or whatever. Now, I didn't know my way. I didn't know where I was going, y'all. But I wanted to get away from that dog, running, hollering, hurt, all of that. I didn't want to be around this. So my sister and my cousin are like, no, you know what I'm saying? Don't leave. You're going to get lost. And I still get lost, you know what I'm saying, in this town that I grew up in. Like, I'm horrible with directions. But so I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go and get him. Because, like, you didn't have no phones. This was in, like, 1988, 87. Wasn't no cell phones on the streets. The government had cell phones, but we wasn't no cell phones on the streets. So I'm like, I'm going to go, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get Uncle Stanley, blah, 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 blah. And they kept saying no, I wouldn't stop. I start walking out. I made a wrong turn, or I didn't turn when I was supposed to turn. Whatever the case might be, y'all, I ended up in the ghetto, talking about the ghetto. I was in the ghetto. Okay, I was in the hood. I realized I was lost, but I kept walking straight. And I just so happened to look up. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a stop sign. I get to the stop sign because I saw a store, you know what I'm saying, up the way. So I kept walking straight, and I get to the stop sign that I had to cross the street before I got to the store. And I look up, and it was 3 black men. And they were staring at me with a very malicious smile on their face. Okay? I don't know what was really going on, but all over me, I had a feeling like I done fucked up. Like something is really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really bad. I don't know where I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing here, and here are these 3 men staring at me, and they're smiling, but it's not like a happy smile. You know what I'm saying? That I knew everything was wrong, y'all. Everything felt wrong. Everything looked wrong. Everything was wrong. So I immediately bust out crying. And one of them starts walking towards, well, all 3 of them start walking towards me, but one of them is saying like, oh, it's okay, little girl, don't cry. Don't cry, it's okay, come here. And I was not walking towards him, but they were still coming towards me. Just so happened that my uncle, my sister, and my cousin, I think it was my uncle, it could have been her older brother, I don't know, but anyway, they're all in the car with the injured dog, and they come riding up, like, Rose, get in the car, what are you doing, get in the car. I immediately stopped crying. I was still scared of the dog. I didn't want to get in the car with the dog, but I knew, you know what I'm saying, you would get your ass in this car. Anyway, y'all, I'm telling y'all that because I got lost one time before, and this was in the 80s when there was a whole serial killer going around in Atlanta, killing little black children. You feel me? Dang, they got no message. I was terrified, but I've been lost before, and I know the feeling. I'm talking about as a child, because I still get lost now, but I don't get scared, you know what I'm saying? But As a child, I was terrified. Okay, um, there was not another person. My family found me. Wasn't another person, but with that story, if I were to put that in the sense of, okay, I'm lost, I see an adult that I want to ask for help. You know what I mean? If I had have seen an adult that I wanted to ask for help, and I went up to them and I said, "Hi, I'm lost," and they didn't help me, because this is the point of that story, y'all. Let's say that you are a black male. You know everything that's up against you in this life and in this world. You know what I'm saying? You know everything that you're up against in this life and in this world. You know this. But a little white child comes up to you and they say, "Hey, can you help me? I'm lost." What are you going to do? Are you going to say no? What are you going to do? What can you do? Now, do I feel like, a white woman, a white mother should teach their child, go up to a black man? No, I don't feel like that, because they don't know and they don't understand what, I'm saying, our race is up against. I feel like they should not teach their children that. You should teach your men and your children to be better, so that your children can go up to, a white man and say, "Hey, I'm lost, can you help me?" But should we tell our men, don't help a child? And what are you gonna, you can tell your man, your kid, your son, whatever, you can tell them that all day. But what when they're in that situation, should you, like, what should they do? Are they gonna turn around and run? Realistically, let's think about this. We could say, "Oh, don't teach your kids to go up to a black man, because our men are more likely to get shot dead in the streets. Our men are more likely to go to jail. Our sons, our cousins, our fathers, our uncles, whatever." We can talk that shit all fucking day. But realistically, when you're standing there and a child is looking at you tearfully, I've been a lost child before. When a child is standing looking at you tearfully, you know what I'm saying? "I'm lost, please help." What are you going to do? Are you going to say no? Because in that case, there's something wrong with you. There's a point in time where you got to be stronger than everything around you. You got to be stronger than everything around you at certain points in time. You got to put, the fear aside. You got to put the bullshit aside, because something is real and is standing in front of you. So, as a mother, I'm a black mother, but if I was a white mother, and, well, let's say if there's a black mother, if it was, the roles were reversed and children were more likely to be harmed by black men than what they were white men, I can understand a mother saying, "Hey, listen, go straight to the black man. Ask him to help you, because he's going to help you. That white man probably going to take you somewhere and put you in the bushes." So, white mothers, don't think I don't understand your position, because I do. As a mother, it don't matter what color you are. You want what's best for your child, and you damn sure want them safe. I get that. So, even though I might feel like, damn, don't put our men under pressure and on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Honestly and truthfully, Let's keep it real. A lot of the bitterness from black women might come from, damn, we can't even get y'all to pay child support, or can't even get y'all to, you know what I'm saying, come and pick your kids up, or you don't even claim your motherfucking black kid, but the white woman wants you to help get her child back home. You know what I'm saying? I get that. I see all sides. But what are you supposed to do when that little kid, that helpless little motherfucking child, is standing in front of you saying, I'm lost? Y'all, when I moved into this neighborhood, I've told this story a couple of times, but I ain't never told it on my channel. I'm walking up to Bojangles one morning, going to get me that, what was it, Cajun biscuit with cheese combo, seasoned fries, and a sweet tea or a Pepsi, depending upon what I want that day. So I'm headed up, I'm walking. I see this beautiful little girl. This was in the wintertime. She's standing right on the corner, this past road tracks. Like, since I come out of about 3 houses down from here, she's standing right there on the corner. And she's in a nightgown and boots. Mind you, I said it's wintertime. So I'm like, what the fuck? I thought she stayed in the trailer right there. So I'm like, they must not know she's outside and it's cold, and she's in a nightgown and boots. So and I'm like, y'all, she was just radiating with light. She was a pretty little girl, but she was radiating with light. So even if I wanted to ignore this little girl, I couldn't. So I'm like, hey, what you doing out here? She doesn't say anything. She just looks at me and starts smiling. So this is a little black girl. It doesn't have anything. I'm just talking right now about lost children. But this, I will tell y'all something, because this pissed me off, and this made me look at people differently, the world differently, church differently. I already was looking at them funny because of the bullshit they put me in. But I definitely, let me just, okay? So I knocked on that door in the yard that she was standing in. And because she didn't say anything, she just was staring at me, smiling. And I kept asking, like, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Where do you stay? Are you supposed to be out here? Where's your mommy? Where's your daddy? She wouldn't say anything. I knock on the door of the yard she's standing in, and nobody comes to that door. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe she lives in the place behind, in the trailer behind that one, because I have seen a little boy there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is his little sister that never come outside or something. So I, go knock on that door. A lady comes to the door, but she says she doesn't live here. And I'm like, well, have you seen her before? Do you know where she lives? She says no. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna walk her around and see if I can't find where she stays. So I end up going up some ways, and because people need at work, da 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 da. So a couple of houses when I need to knock on their door. I end up going up about halfway up the street, and I knock on this girl's door, and she worked with children. I asked her, is this your daughter? She grabs her face and she looks at it. She said, no, she says, no, that's not my daughter. But she grabs her face and she looked at it and she says, she's autistic. I work with autistic children. She's autistic, nonverbal. I realized then, okay, that's why she's not talking to me. She was walking with me and she was smiling, but she wouldn't talk. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know where she is. Have you seen her? You know where she might? She said no. But let me put my kids' shoes. Let me get my kids to put their shoes on, and we'll hop in my car and we'll ride around and see if we can't find where she lives. That's what we do. We were hoping we didn't have to go across the highway. Like, how would she have gotten over here? You know what I'm saying? It was just, because it's a little fence right here, But over there is major highway, as you all can hear, major fucking highway. So it was like, oh my God, if she came from over there, it's a miracle. And it's also a miracle that she didn't go over there, because come to find out, where she was at is the house right beside that fence, which has a big gap in it. On the other side is a major fucking highway, okay? But anyway, we hop in her car, we ride around the neighborhood a little bit. We go to the back of my neighborhood, y'all, and it was a black woman getting into her vehicle. Older black woman, may I add. Elderly black woman, may I add. This was on a Sunday because she was on her way to church. Okay? We stopped the car beside this elderly, older black woman on her way to church. And we say, hey, we found a little girl in the street. You know what I'm saying? Are you missing a little, are you going around looking for a little girl? She says, no, I'm on my way to church. We said, okay, well, can you look in the back seat? Because she was sitting in the back seat with the girl who I was riding with, her 3 children. She was like, we were like, can you look in the back seat and see if you recognize her? It might can tell us, you know what I'm saying, where she's missing from. Y'all, this bitch said, uh-uh, I ain't got time. I'm on my way to church. I immediately told that girl that was driving, uh-uh, something ain't right with her spirit. Pull off. Don't even, because she was like, because she was asking, like, but can you please, you know what I'm saying, just look. And I'm sitting, because I'm like, if you can't bend your head to look in and help an innocent little child, something is wrong with you. You need way more than to go to church. That lady wouldn't even bend her head to look in the car to see if she recognized that little girl. So that's what I'm talking about, this world that we're living in. Which I had to just tell that story. It somewhat applies to what I'm talking about. It somewhat doesn't. Because, and I'm going to title this Conflicted. I knew what I was going to title this before I hit the live stream. Because I am conflicted on this. You know what I'm saying? Um, but the only thing that I can really say about this is, what are we supposed to tell the black man to do? What are we supposed to tell him to do? You know what I'm saying? We yell at him all the time about his own kids. You know what I mean? Some listen and some don't. You can yell at them all day about, what they say on that level. Some will probably listen, some probably won't. But at the end of the day, just think about whether or not, if it was your child, whether they were black or white, if it was your child that was lost. Y'all, the only thing I can say is that the more people push for shit that was never meant for them in the first place, the worst situation that we end up in as a whole in this whole fucking world. I mean, when I say push for stuff that wasn't meant for them, I mean that as far as politically, economically, and I'm not saying that, you know, anybody was meant to be poor or anything like that. No, I'm just saying the more that we push for this world order, the worst the fucking world gets. Um, all the way around for everybody, particularly the children of God, but really for everybody. Right now, these days, it don't matter what type of religion you are. You gotta pay high ass price for groceries, gas. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this that's going on in the world. If we could just come back to Christ, not just because we want things. I say it's not religious, and it's not religious. It's a personal thing that we have to realize. When you go about stuff and you get stuff out of order, out of order, you create chaos. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I know you got to understand what I'm saying in order to even grasp what I mean. Because it all ties together. All of this ties together. But I know y'all, let me tell you like this. I've heard all my life I talk funny. And it's very few that understand me when I say what I say. But you got everybody fighting for this, everybody fighting for that. Instead of going about things in order, waiting their time for their blessing to reach them, for their blessing to come. You know what I'm saying? Going through being built for your blessing. Because if you're not built for your blessing, when it hits you, you're gonna fuck it up or you're gonna fuck somebody else up. Okay? Instead of all of that, you have people just jumping out, lying, cheating, stealing, manipulating. They're creating chaos. If it's not in their life, they're creating chaos in somebody else's life. And guess what? Those are demons that person that you threw those on, they have to battle through them. In the midst of them battling through that, they may or may not be creating chaos in somebody else's life, or they might be amping up the chaos in their life, which can proceed and become a generational curse. Y'all, all I'm saying is, what the fuck kind of world are we living in? And does it matter to anybody? Does it matter to anybody? Does it matter to y'all that for monetary gain or for, you know what I'm saying, to be able to pop your collar and say this, that, and the third? Does it matter if you destroy your whole mentally, emotionally, financially, however, because it can come in many, many, many forms? Does it matter if you can pop your collar or, you know what I'm saying, have a room full of $100 bills if your whole future generation is fucked up? Does it matter? Was it worth it? Because because of the history of this country, you know what I'm saying? Let me see how I can put, because of the history of this country, a lot of people can't trust their children to go up to their own kind and ask for help when they're lost. There's a such thing as generational curses. There's a such thing as some people say karma, or you know what I'm saying, what you do comes back to you, or whatever like that. There's a such thing as that. And it might not fall on you, it might fall on your grandchildren, it might fall on descendants that you never even have a chance to meet. You know what I'm saying? That's a reason why a lot of shit is the way it is because of how it started out. And you hear a lot, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, this, we didn't do this to you, this didn't happen like that, whatever, okay? And you're right. But some things came around. They went around and they came back around. You get what I'm saying? And you have a lot of people that resemble myself that can't understand that we might not have certain privileges in this country, but the privileges that we do have are worth it. Good morning, lady. Huh? Let me pause this. Hold on. No, I'm not on the phone. I'm not on the phone.